Guys, my name is Justin Marc, international dating coach and relationship expert. And in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about how to be an ethical slut, how to be ethically non-monogamous in a very consensual and respectful way for everybody involved, and how to actually do this in the best way without hurting anyone's feelings, without actually stepping on anyone's toes, and creating these amazing win-win relationships. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually date abundantly. You can have more than one partner. You can date openly and lovingly and actually still have amazing loving relationships. You can have incredible loving long-term relationships that are non-monogamous, that are open, maybe even open relationships, maybe even polyamorous relationships, right? And you can actually do this in a way that's completely respectful to everybody involved. And it's a lot of fun as well. And it's even happier. Personally myself, whenever I find myself in the past in a monogamous relationship, I typically would fall into depression. I would literally stop eating. I would typically start starving myself, and it just always led back to the same thing. It's almost like I was reliving the same relationship over and over and over until I started opening up my relationships, living them non-monogamously, and doing it in a way that benefits me and a partner and creates these win-win opportunities. I remember being in Budapest, Hungary with my ex-girlfriend Laura and pretty much talking to her saying, look, we have to open up a relationship. Otherwise, we have to break up. And if we break up, we both lose. I lose an amazing person in my life. You lose an amazing guy in your life. And if we open up a relationship, we can go out. You can experiment with girls together, because she had brought forward that she wanted to experiment with women. I can, have my freedom to do my thing and, open up myself emotionally. And we ended up having such a great time. We ended up building our relationship even further. And honestly, it was one of the best things that could have ever happened to our relationship at the time. It grew us both as people. Our relationship became better. We became closer, and we both experienced and grew a fuck ton, right? And I realized that ethical non-monogamy is such an effective thing. Now, in this video, what I'm gonna teach you is how to be an ethical slut. I'm gonna teach you how to ethically have non-monogamous relationships, and it's really gonna be an introductory guide into actually doing this effectively. So again, my name is Justin Marc, international dating coach, relationship expert, and for the last 8 years, I've traveled to 50 plus countries in 6 continents, teaching people just like you how to have effective relationships, build incredible communication skills at the highest level, and just live their life to the fucking fullest. Now, I predominantly coach men, but we do coach women too, and this advice applies for both men and women. So sit back, hang tight, and let's jump straight in. So what is ethical non-monogamy? Well, to be ethically non-monogamous essentially means everyone is consenting to an open relationship dynamic. It's an approach to a relationship where you can have more than one romantic partner. And it sounds crazy. I know you could be watching this video and you might be thinking, whoa, that's insane, having more than one romantic partner. Well, in a lot of ancient civilizations, that was the norm. That was actually very normal. And if you actually look at how the human genome developed and how humans developed, it's very obvious. There's a lot of evidence to back up the fact that, caveman tribes were extremely polyamorous, okay? There is a ton of evidence to back this up. So typically what I find is a lot of my clients will go on to be ethically non-monogamous, or they will open up their relationships, or they will kind of, live this, non-monogamous type lifestyle. And it happens to be that these people end up becoming more successful, living happier lives, living healthier lives. And you can see how it transforms all areas of their lives. They become more healthy, they're fit, they're in the gym, they become entrepreneurial, they make more money. And it's crazy how your relationship dynamics really affect all areas of your life, because if you're happy in a relationship, you're probably happy in other areas of your life as well. If you're happy in a relationship, it really changes your mindset to really go for what you want in life. So to be ethically non-monogamous, you and your partners must all agree and consent to whatever the dynamic is. And what that means is you need to have a lot of communication and honesty, right? You gotta be very upfront when you meet people, and you gotta be very honest with what you want and what you're looking for and what you are into. And that could scare a lot of people away, but you'd actually be shocked how many men and women in society are 100% okay with ethical non-monogamy, especially if they like you, they'll kind of adjust to kind of fit your narrative. Because there's no set rules when it comes to ethical non-monogamy. Now, when it comes to traditional relationships, right, in terms of what society views a relationship, typically they're monogamous. Typically it's like a man and a woman, right? Well, with ethical non-monogamy, there's no cheating because you're not monogamous, right? You're free to do whatever you want, right? There are no set rules. You can pretty much, do whatever you want. I'm actually dating a beautiful woman right now. Gorgeous, beautiful woman, very great dynamic with her. And I told her straight up, I don't want you seeing other dudes. Like, if you're gonna see other dudes, that's fine. We should just stop seeing each other, right? And the thing is, I want to date other girls. And guess what? She agreed to it. I agreed to it. It's cool. Like, she doesn't want to see other guys because, I gave her the best possible emotions, she can have. And I'm constantly, helping her be the best version of herself. But she realized that part of my mental psyche, I guess you could say, is I need to be ethically non-monogamous in order to be my highest peak self and happy. And so she's not even trying to pressure me into any sort of monogamous traditional relationship dynamic. And so it works really well for both of us. So as long as both parties agree and are consenting, then it's all good, it's all great, it's no problem. So what you want to practice is something called radical honesty. Honesty is vital, it's essential. And if you're not honest, you're gonna have problems. Like, imagine you get in a relationship dynamic and you don't want to be monogamous, but you don't communicate that, and you just so happen to fall into this monogamous relationship dynamic frame. It's gonna be horrible, right? So it's very important and imperative that you, right away from the very beginning, explain who you are, what you're looking for, and your relationship dynamic wants and needs. Being clear about your boundaries and what you are okay and not okay with is super, super important. And here's the thing, if you're in an ethically non-monogamous relationship dynamic, you need to be very comfortable and develop the ability to be comfortable with talking about these things, because it can be an awkward conversation, having that late night pillow talk about, what you are and what you aren't, right, in that relationship dynamic. But it's very, very important that you do have that communication and that honesty. Now, what's also important is you need to care about your partner's feelings, right? Imagine you're in a relationship dynamic and your partner expresses their desire to be ethically non-monogamous and you wanted to be monogamous. Well, what, are you gonna try to force them into a monogamous relationship dynamic where they're unhappy? Well, imagine them doing that to you, right? And so you want to make sure that you guys communicate effectively, but you also respect your partner's feelings. Being non-monogamous doesn't necessarily mean that you disrespect the person you're dating or, disregard their feelings, right? They can still be very important people to you. They can become like best friends to you. They can become incredible partners to you. You can actually have a normal traditional relationship, you're just non-monogamous when it comes to the sexual aspect of it. And so you need to be very respectful of the person's feelings and the relationship dynamic. Now, these relationships are really sensitive because unless you have a lot of empathy, you're gonna struggle in actually having the dynamic fit in the way you want it to. So you never wanna lie to each other, ever. You never wanna pressure each other into anything that you guys don't wanna do, whether it's a sexual experience, whether it is a relationship dynamic, whether it is just your boundaries, right? As a person in a relationship. You want to make sure you maintain, empathy. And please never go behind your partner's back. Always be clear and upfront, because once the trust is broken, it's broken forever. Now, a lot of people don't realize that in a non-monogamous relationship, you can still have a primary partner. You can't do that. You can't have that. It's just that you're open, right? You're ethically open. And you have that primary partner, but you're still open to having other partners. This is oftentimes called a hierarchical relationship. You could also have relationships that are just completely open. You maybe don't have any primary partner. You just have a bunch of more casual, non-monogamous relationship dynamics. And that's great too. Those work really well. When I think back to some of my best relationships I ever had, they were typically non-monogamous. They were, me seeing other people, even the girl oftentimes seeing other people. And now look, it is normal to get jealous sometimes. It's normal to feel weird emotions, but as long as you communicate effectively and you know your values as a human being and you are understanding of the other person's emotions and feelings and sexuality, it's all good. It's funny because one of my first mentors who taught me about non-monogamous relationships, the way he described it was, well, a mother could have 3 children, but it doesn't mean she loves any children more than the other or less than the other. She loves all of her children, right? Well, in the same way, you can love multiple people, right? You can have 2 girlfriends or 2 different relationships or 3. You could have like many different people you're seeing, right? And they're just different relationship dynamics, right? They're not the same, they're not necessarily comparable, right? And so what you want to do is you want to develop that skill set of actually having these relationship dynamics and understanding how they work and making sure they work by communicating honestly and from a place of integrity. So there's many types of different types of relationship dynamics that are ethically non-monogamous, right? You can have polyamorous relationships where you're kind of just open. You can have an open relationship where you're both, seeing other people and, dating other people, right? You could have, you could be a throuple. There could be like 1 boyfriend with 2 girlfriends, or even sometimes 1 girlfriend with 2 boyfriends, right? And so it's so interesting. You just gotta make sure that no one's feelings are getting hurt by honest communication. And then essentially what you're doing is you're being an ethical slut. You're communicating effectively and you're doing it in a way that's not hurting anyone's feelings. So there's nothing wrong with it. So to summarize, what an ethical slut is, what a non-monogamous relationship is a relationship dynamic that isn't a traditional closed monogamous relationship where you just have that one primary partner. It's usually open, different, and it requires a whole lot of care and communication. They're very sensitive relationships, and there's a lot to it. But typically what happens is these relationships are a lot better, they're a lot more intimate, they're a lot more passionate, they're a lot more loving, and they're better for your life in general. They also tend to last 3 times as long as a traditional monogamous relationship, believe it or not. Typically, a non-monogamous relationship on average will last about 3 times as long as a traditional monogamous relationship. They can be so liberating, fun, and amazing, but they can also be confusing, stressful, and crazy. So you really got to know yourself, know your boundaries, and figure it out. But my job is just to educate you on what this is and how it works and kind of point you in the right direction. So as long as you're being honest, being confident, and putting your best foot forward every single day, there's nothing wrong with these ethically non-monogamous relationships, these open relationships, or being an ethical slut. So what I highly recommend to you is go out, be whoever you want to be. If you want to be that young fuckboy going out and meeting girls, as long as you're honest and upfront about it and not hurting anyone's feelings, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be that cute girl going to the bars and meeting lots of cute boys and having a hot girl summer, as long as you're not leading these guys on, there's nothing wrong with it. Just go out, have fun, have an amazing time, be safe, and be your best self, and be that every single day, and live your life to the fullest. So guys, my name is Marc, international dating coach, relationship expert, and VIP lifestyle development coach. And I love helping you guys with this stuff. So if you have any questions, go ahead and message me on Instagram at drunkjustin2, and go ahead and follow me on YouTube. Subscribe, click the bell notification so you're notified of new videos. If you liked this video, I'm sure you did, leave a thumbs up on this video so I know I'm doing well. And also make sure to go ahead and follow me on all my social media. Go ahead to my Snapchat, link in the description. Go watch my daily Snapchat stories. Go join my Inner Circle Telegram group. Crazy stuff in there. And again, follow me on Instagram, drunkjustin2, and we'll see you soon in a new video. My name is Marc, international dating coach, relationship expert. See you soon. Peace out.